I love video games because they are able to foster truly novel human interaction. Going beyond the obvious competitive and cooperative multiplayer that usually comes to mind, some games take advantage of the online and occasionally anonymous aspects of current technology to craft new ways of communication that just could not be possible via other mediums. And through these encounters, we see some facets of humanity in a different light, both bad and good. Journey has chance meetings with anonymous, nigh mute players, but restricts it enough to make the moment when you stumble upon another living being in this solitary world incredibly special, and you strive to stay by their side as long as you can, even though there are no tangible gameplay benefits. It highlights our innate desire for human interaction, so when you see another living being, you cherish how special conscious life really is, and how you long to share your experience with others. On the more sinister side, Souls games, ones with multiplayer features, capitalize on the depressing dog-eats-dog perspective of the world through both its core game as well as the lawless online landscape. It even has entirely optional and typically post-game covenants that reward you for helping or hindering other players' progress through their own game. And in recent years, we can see the advent of new online experiences with virtual reality. Take Rec Room or VR Chat, for example. Yes, these kinds of online chat rooms aren't groundbreaking concepts that we have never seen before. VR Chat can be played without VR because it's essentially just IMVU for big boys. But interestingly, even though you can still be considered anonymous in these VR chat rooms, you don't see nearly the same amount of crass behavior nor trolls as you would expect in a comparable online setting. And I think that's because the feeling of hiding behind a mask of anonymity begins to fade away once you are first-hand viewing a virtual space and physically emoting with your own body. But of course, that can also be attributed to the higher monetary entry point that comes with playing a VR game. While there have obviously been no shortage of unique games that break away from the traditional video game structure, one of my favorite games in recent memory has been Kind Words, because of how, like VR Chat, its sole focus is to shine a spotlight on, well, people just talking to each other. But Kind Words goes beyond most other social games by cutting through the fat and getting straight to the point. People being there for each other. Developed by Pop Cannibal, Kind Words Lo-Fi Chill Beats to Write To is built around two primary features: reading letters and writing letters. That's it. You can catch real letters flying through the air sent anonymously by other players, like finding a message in a bottle. Sometimes they are sent out with no real purpose or aim, other than to spread some positivity and take solace in the fact that someone, somewhere, hears their words. As the game says, people might not even be asking for answers. They just want to vent and be heard. That's okay. It's romantic, writing a note and letting it drift out into the great unknown, feeling connected by sharing your thoughts and emotions with the world, but an odd freedom of knowing neither where nor with whom it might end up. But players can also specifically request a reply, like a cry for help. Now, this isn't therapy. You won't have a long back and forth discussion, and the small character limit actually prevents that. But that doesn't mean that simply acknowledging someone's struggles isn't enough sometimes. Just knowing that someone, somewhere, is rooting for you can be enough for some people to keep going on their toughest days. And you can export all of your received messages so you can have a pick-me-up when you're feeling down. The entire game takes place in a disconnected, floating bedroom in space that feeds into your sense of comfort. We all, hopefully, have a bedroom that we feel safe in, and a window we may look out to peer into the world around us. You can minimally decorate your room with stickers you collect from reading and writing letters to add to your sense of homeliness. Every time you send a letter out, you can attach a sticker, of which everyone starts out with a different default one. It's not much. You can collect all the stickers extremely quickly, but after all, that's not the focus of the game. It's just a little incentive to remind players that you can't experience all of life without opening up. As we open up to different people, internally our rooms inside our own minds transform, as we appreciate different facets of humanity and the world itself. And much like genuine human interactions, it's not meant to be rushed through. You'll probably only play the game for a few minutes at a time, delaying the speed at which you'll unlock the stickers and hear all of the tracks the game has to offer. All of this is wrapped around a gorgeous art style, with some great lo-fi beats, as the title would imply. And the iconography is nice and gentle. Viewing requests is symbolized by a magnifying glass looking at a heart, and the quit icon is a pillow, implying that although you're leaving the chill experience, you'll take your current emotion to the outside world and hopefully sleep soundly. Even the word choices are comforting. Sending a non-request letter has the descriptor, "Say nice things." In the help section, Kind Words is gentle in encouraging you to safely vent about anything while giving hints on how to effectively empathize towards other writers. And look, there's this cute little tutorial deer that sends your messages. In such a pure and supportive little game, you'd think there would be some bad apples, right? Surprisingly, that doesn't seem to be the case. At its low price point of $5, it's just enough money to keep harassers out while not being so high to be a barrier of entry for people willing to take a shot on an experimental game. In my time with the game, I found only incredibly supportive letters and genuine heartfelt replies. And of course, there are report features just in case for not only inappropriate messages, but ones that may signal impending self-harm as well. There's also an in-game list of real crisis hotlines you can call depending on your personal situation. It can be hard to share your problems. Sometimes the pain is clear, and other times you don't really understand why you're upset. Go ahead and let it out. I love video games because of games like Kind Words. It's a respite from usual internet shenanigans and reminds us of the good in people's hearts, especially when contrasted with other potential modern uses of the internet. While this isn't the first game to break away from traditional video games and multiplayer experiences, it is pleasantly direct with its design choices. With no fluff, it simply connects people to people and promotes, well, kind words.